Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, the youth minister to reimburse government for those controversial medals.
The opposition skeptical about the proposed purchase of Grand Bahamas Airport.
2 months later, the commissioner of police says it's too early to talk Dorian death toll.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Amid controversy over personalized medals that Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Lanisha Roll presented to youth parliamentarians during a recent courtesy call, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis ordered Roll to give that money back to government. Vonnie Toot reports.
2 weeks after she presented youth parliamentarians with this commemorative medal during a courtesy call, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Lanisha Roll has been hit with the $582.40 bill. Roll was scorched on social media after pictures of the medal bearing her photo went viral. However, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis told Parliament today government should not have to pay for personalized medals.
In view of what has been personalized, it is the government's decision that was a personal picture, medal, and the government should not have to pay for anything that's personalized, and therefore the monies that were spent for that, the minister would reimburse the government for the $582.40 that was spent by the government.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture sought to clarify the matter, insisting the medals were not meant to replace the National Youth Award nominee medals issued to nominees during National Youth Month celebrations. Minnis said the matter was brought to his attention after it blew up on social media.
I see all over social media and both daily magazines this morning talking about what my Minister of Sports had done.
However, that's not the only firestorm engulfing role that Minnis felt compelled to extinguish today. The Prime Minister also responded to the public feud between his culture minister and leaders of the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, who say they were stunned by the level of disrespect showed to them by her ministry. Junkanoo leaders accused Roll of seeking to interfere in the JCNP's affairs by announcing a new Junkanoo group would be participating despite failing to meet the JCNP's deadline. The group also lambasted officials for attempting to restructure the parade management committee. Well, Minnis, a big Saxons man, said that's not happening this Junkanoo season.
Junkanoo will not change at this particular time. We are moving into the Junkanoo season. However, February, the minister and JCNP and all the relevant agencies would enter discussion as to the way forward.
Minnis said by March they will determine the way forward for the country's most popular form of cultural expression.
Because changes must occur, but this must be discussed and agreed upon by all the relevant parties.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Vonnie Toot.
Well, as members of Parliament debate the Disaster Reconstruction Authority bill, the Prime Minister revealed today that Abaco would become a VAT-free zone immediately, while Grand Bahama would have to wait for the first of the month.
The order has been made, drafted, so that Abaco would be VAT-free immediately. And this would include both residential and commercial products, and the exigency list would be expanded and all items are itemized, both residential and commercial products. But Grand Bahama would be delayed until the 1st because Grand Bahama has inventory that has to be dealt with appropriately.
The new bill will pave the way for the establishment of a body corporate responsible for the management of reconstruction and restoration of disaster zones. The board of directors will comprise a chairman and deputy chairman appointed by the minister, a managing director, NEMA's director, and not more than 7 other members. Mina said the chairman shall not hold a political office.
The authority will be empowered to establish the Bahamas National Recovery and Reconstruction Trust Fund and to provide for the appointment of its trustees. And this trust fund, Mr. Speaker, will be an independent and non-political body to help fund home and building repairs.
Exuma's and Ragged Island MP Chester Cooper branded the bill the Conch Salad Bill, which creates another layer of bureaucracy, and labeled Hubert Minnis the ultimate minister of disaster. Cooper said the bill is so poorly constructed, it makes him wonder if it is a thinly veiled attempt to provide positions for political cronies.
We should call this the Conch Salad Bill. It's mixed right up. It mixes up the bureaucracy. The Conch Salad Bill presented by the Conch Salad government, Mr. Speaker. I say if something needs to be enhanced, enhance it. Don't work around it by creating NEMA 2.0.
Cooper added that while the Prime Minister makes a big deal of excluding politicians, the minister may give the authority instructions. Cooper says the bill also flies in the face of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, as 20% of the authority's budget goes to salaries.
I ask you to empower local government. Give them bigger budgets. Give them more autonomy. And give them more respect. Again, more respect for their expertise, such as where floods occur and how these synergies will work. I ask you not to squander money on more salaries in a useless new authority while local government struggles to pick up the garbage, whilst teachers and nurses and doctors can't be paid.
Meanwhile, 2 months after the storm, Commissioner of Police Anthony Ferguson insists it's still too early to talk about a death toll or give a definitive number of missing persons.
I just want people to be patient and understand that there's a process. It's a process. That is not an easy task that you're talking about and trying to determine numbers.
Ferguson attempted to explain why the official death toll remains at 67 months after the killer storm. Hundreds of people remain unaccounted for, and there have been reports of bodies among the rubble. However, the commissioner said he doesn't know if the public will ever know just how many people were killed in the Bahamas by Dorian.
We're satisfied that it's very likely that the person is missing during the storm, because the displacement of the storm, by the storm, persons are just picked up abruptly and went all over the place. And so that is going to take some time in order to and do an investigation before you could conclude.
Just yesterday, a rep for one of the companies tasked with cleaning up the mud in Abaco revealed that they have already discovered bodies buried among the rubble. Despite the ongoing effort to clear up the debris in those shantytowns, the death toll has made a slow climb. There's also the number of the missing, which remains in the hundreds, and the fear that many were swept out to sea.
I don't believe, from what I know and from being on the front line of the investigation, we will probably never be able to give a precise number of persons who are being missing. But we, at some point going forward, we'll be able to release a figure that we are comfortable with. But we'll do that in consultation with the right people.
We've heard horror stories of survivors watching their relatives be pulled away by the storm surge, only to find their body a while later, or not find them at all. Ferguson explained what police have been dealing with so far when it comes to the numbers.
What we found, let's say, for example, you have 3 family members coming and making a report of a missing person. When we look at it, it's the same person. It's for somebody may give the name, a name that they call somebody, and then another person give a name, and then when you look, the person show up, or you would have the same 3 persons making the same report. So it's very, very important that we take our time and do our investigation, and then at the end of the day we will be able to give, as I indicated, an estimate of persons who we believe might have been missing or presumed dead.
As scores of displaced Abaconians search for employment, a group of Abaco men are working to clean up the storm-ravaged island. Jared Hicks has their story.
At 18 years old, Devontae Russell never thought he'd find himself where he is today.
Just devastation, like cruel.
2 words to describe a destructive and deadly hurricane that forced Russell and his family to evacuate Abaco. The former produce clerk was in New Providence for less than a month when he heard about a job cleaning up Abaco's decimated communities. That's when pride kicked in.
I need to come back over and put my home back together.
While the manual labor wasn't exactly what the 18-year-old envisioned for himself, the cleanup work is right up the alley of 37-year-old heavy machinery operator Angelo Davis. The Abaco native felt the brunt of the storm and came back as soon as he could.
I gotta be there for my family because ain't nobody working right now. So I gotta try to take care of my family as much as I could.
He's glad for the job, but that doesn't mean things are easy. The work is slow and the stakes are high, as officials expect more bodies to be recovered in the shantytown they're cleaning out.
It was really tough. It was the scent and the debris. There's a lot of debris, so we have to take our time.
The men are among a group of 42 Abaconians who are working for Caribbean Pavement Solutions, a subsidiary of Bahama Striping Group of Companies. They're staying at a makeshift camp where the living conditions are inclusive of air-conditioned sleeping quarters, pool tables, a basketball room, 3 cooked meals a day, television, and computers. Outside, they've got showers and washing facilities.
It's a chance for me to save some money and get back on my foot, see, because we really need it. We really need, this job around here.
Away from Abaco, I feel welcoming.
This shantytown and others on Abaco are under intense scrutiny as government vows to ban rebuilding in those communities. The future is uncertain, same as it is for Russell, who was offered his old job in the grocery store. He says he turned it down, choosing to stick with clearing the land. It's temporary, says the 18-year-old who wants to pursue a career in IT when things die down. For now, though, his mind is at ease.
When I was in house, I couldn't sleep, but when I home, I sleep even better.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
PLP Deputy Leader Chester Cooper is skeptical about the government's proposal to purchase the Grand Bahama Airport. Cooper said he believes it would be a great move, but he's not certain if the government can negotiate a good deal. Jillian Gray reports.
The opposition deputy leader said while he's happy that there's going to be some form of progress for the storm-ravaged island, he's not certain that the government can strike a proper deal for the purchase of the Grand Bahama Airport.
I don't trust the government to negotiate on our behalf. I mean, when we look at the Oban deal, when we look at the Grand Lucayan deal, when we look at other instances where they've negotiated, they've been outgunned. And we therefore hope that they will reload, if you will, get the required consultants, understanding that they're not all knowing, and go to the table and strike the best deal for the Bahamian people. That is what they should do.
Cooper was responding to Aviation Minister Dionisio de Aguilar, who said the government is eyeing the purchase of the airport because Hutchison Port Holdings has been somewhat reluctant to rebuild the facility in the wake of that deadly storm. De Aguilar pegged the purchase at anywhere between $20 and $40 million. While it is unclear if the two owners, Grand Bahama Port Authority and Hutchison Port Holdings, are interested in selling, Cooper said if the government decided to buy the airport, it must be done in a cost-effective manner.
Ministers of finance from time, ministers of tourism have complained about the cost of landing and the cost of doing business at that airport in Grand Bahama. This is an opportunity for the government to press the reset button and get on with it. We will rely on the government to strike the best deal possible for the Bahamian people. We hope that they bring in some negotiation support. We do not like the kind of deals that this government has been striking, so we hope that they bring in the type of support and consultation they need to ensure that they strike the best deal on behalf of the Bahamian people.
While Cooper is skeptical that the government can strike a good deal, he supports the move, stating it was one he suggested to the government weeks ago. He added that when he visited the island last week, the scene at the airport was terrible.
I visited Grand Bahama last week, and it was pretty disheartening to take the bus from the plane to a makeshift terminal inland and take the bus back. And 8 weeks in, nothing has happened. This is very disappointing. The Bahamian people are suffering. The people of Grand Bahama
suffering.
Though pleased with the proposal to purchase the airport, the PLP MP said the government must move more quickly with the rebuilding process, as he says many are still suffering. Reporting for our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
All right, thanks, Jillian. Still to come, why Western New Providence was plunged into darkness last night. Stay tuned.